Downtown Bryan, Texas is not for most investors, but if you know how to play it, you can win big. I'm gonna show you the duplex that I landed. $270,000 that rents out for $1,500 per side, crushing the 1% rule. I'm gonna show you what to look for, what to watch out for, and what kind of investor is best suited for our beloved downtown. My name is Greg Schwartz, and yeah, I own a duplex on 24th Street, but I also have managed everything from houses with ADUs to a downtown apartment. And I'm gonna give you the inside scoop, so let's get started. So let's start with this. Why would you want to invest near downtown Bryan? And quite frankly, you want to invest where there's energy, where there's excitement, where there's growth. And the best way to show that to you is some before and after pictures. So let's look at Bryan back in the 90s, just a few decades ago. Check this out, or that, or this. Quite frankly, this is not an area where I would have invested, but today it is very different. Look at this. Check that out. New restaurants, shops, revitalization of old buildings, new development. There's a lot of energy near our downtown area. And of course, as an investor, you want to be where the path of progress is. And in this case, it's definitely near downtown. But downtown markets are different, particularly if you've been looking at the suburbs of College Station or newer subdivisions or condos. You might be looking in areas that have a lot of comps, where the renovations are relatively cookie cutter. Nothing is cookie cutter about downtown. The houses are old, the renovations are sometimes scary, the comps are limited, but the upside potential is definitely there. Let's use an example. Let's jump into a duplex that I purchased just a few years ago for only $270,000. Check this out. This is my Downtown Bryan duplex that I picked up back in 2023. I love it because it's so close to downtown, only a few blocks away. And we purchased it off market thanks to some relationships with some downtown investors, so I only paid $270,000. Which today sounds great, but back then, honestly, was about market average because it was only renting out for $1,200 per side, not exactly the 1% rule. But we had a hunch it would do really well thanks to its proximity to downtown and the fact that it had recently been renovated. So we came in with a game plan of working this as an Airbnb, furnishing it and putting it on Airbnb as a short-term rental due to its location near Hush and Whisper, our downtown whiskey distillery. But before furnishing it, my wife had the good idea of putting it up online as a long-term rental, listing it as a long-term rental, and sure enough, she filled it. $1,500 per side. We're now bringing in $3,000 on a $270,000 purchase, crushing the 1% rule. But the truth is, I'm not tapping into that extra cash flow. I'm putting it aside because it is an older building, built in the 1950s. It's likely going to have more maintenance issues. So for the time being, we're not tapping into that cash flow. We're putting it aside. We're being cautious, but we absolutely love this Downtown Bryan asset. Investing in downtown seems like a no-brainer, but the truth is, as I mentioned earlier, it's not fit for everybody. So I would recommend you ask yourself these three questions. If you answer yes to all three, then maybe downtown is a good fit for you. If not, maybe you should look elsewhere, like College Station. So, are you an experienced investor? Do you have extra capital on hand, extra cash, and do you have a higher risk tolerance, which comes with usually a higher reward? Let's break down each one of these questions individually. Starting off with number one, are you experienced? I bring this up because the downtown area is dynamic. It's different street by street. Every house is different. The unknowns are everywhere. You don't have a lot of comps. You really don't know what the expenses are going to be. You don't really know what ARV or rents are going to be. There's a lot of unknowns, which is why I want you to have experience. Number two, well capitalized. Kind of for the same reasons, but mostly because our downtown Bryan houses are usually older, meaning that renovations and just general maintenance are gonna be more expensive, so I wanna make sure you're well capitalized. And number three, do you have a higher risk tolerance? Even if you're experienced and have all the money, there's a good chance that you're gonna run into something that completely blows your mind. You didn't see it coming. All of a sudden now you're having to replace all of the wiring in your property, costing you an extra $5,000 or $10,000 you didn't plan on. It can tank a deal. But on the other side, you could buy that duplex that was renting for $1,200 with the potential to rent for $1,500. You see, there is both risk and reward in the downtown Bryan area, which is why I want you to have a little bit higher risk tolerance. Be willing to take on that risk in search of that reward. If you answered yes to all three of those, then maybe you should be looking downtown. But the question is, what kind of property should you be looking for, and what kind of property should you be avoiding? There's a lot of opportunity, but there's also a lot of traps, a lot of mistakes to be made when investing near downtown Bryan. I'm going to share the top three with you. But if you are within 90 days of buying, I think we should set up a one-on-one strategy call to make sure you're set up for success. You can either email me, greg@schwartzrealtygroup.com, or go down to the description below, check out my calendar link, book a call with me, and that 45-minute session will help you avoid the major mistakes. For everybody else, make sure you subscribe to this channel. All right, let's talk about the 3 biggest mistakes that I see investors make when they're investing near downtown Bryan. Starting off with number 1, and that is buying lipstick on a pig house. The lipstick on a pig house is one that has been renovated purely cosmetically, meaning it has new floors, it has new countertops, it has new paint, new fixtures, but the major systems were ignored. This is usually because a flipper is trying to make the most amount of money for the house, so he wants to make it look as cute as possible without actually fixing it up. So it has old and crumbling foundation, it has old windows, old insulation, old plumbing, old electrical. You see what I'm getting at here. All of those systems don't make it cuter and ultimately don't make that flipper more money, but if you're the end buyer, that will be your expense one day. So if we're buying one of these houses, let's make sure that we're looking not just cosmetically, but also functionally, is that house sound? Second biggest mistake that I see people make is misunderstanding comps. You see, on a surface level, a comp is a house that's the same size, the same bedroom bathroom count in the same general area. But if we're looking near downtown, every street, every block is different. So we need to make adjustments for whether you're on 32nd Street or 27th Street. We need to make adjustments for the condition of the house because they vary greatly when you're talking about a house that's been renovated either never since 1940 or 7 times since 1940, or it's a lipstick on a big house. So those conditions need to be adjusted for. And then lastly, the layout. And I'm not talking bedroom bathroom count. I'm talking actually how is it structurally laid out? How is that floor plan laid out? Does it make sense? There's a lot of old houses that are very wonky. They're not laid out based on how folks want to live in houses today, and that can adjust the rent rates and the after repair values. So when you're running your comps, you're running this analysis, make sure you adjust for specific location, condition, and the layout. And the last major mistake is one that I've made myself. Guys, this is falling in love with a house. The truth is, when you fall in love with the potential of the house, or you fall in love with that cute house, your emotional brain takes over and your analytical brain gets kicked to the curb. In doing so, you will likely ignore major red flags. You will likely underestimate the cost of the renovation. And if you're anything like me, that could cost you $100,000. I kid you not. I thought renovations would be $100K and they were $200K on a house that I fell in love with. So let's not buy a lipstick on a pig house. Let's make sure we run comps correctly, and let's not fall in love with a house, at least not till after we've run the analysis. Guys, if that makes sense to you, if you like what I've been talking about so far, I recommend that you subscribe to this channel. I also recommend you check out Downtown Bryan. It is a great place to invest. Until next week, guys, you take it easy.